it's Ailarra. Welcome to my channel about cross-stitching. Welcome back for anybody who has subscribed before and seen my videos. It's been a hot minute since I've recorded, so I feel like I've forgotten how to do this. Thank you so much to any new subscribers who are coming back to see this. If you're new, this is a long video, so thanks for even clicking. I don't know how long it is yet, but I know it's going to be really long. So this is my 2022 wrap-up end-of-year WIP Parade, even though it is in January. I was pretty sick all of December, and I'm still getting over some stuff. So, train of thought is going to go a lot. I have to wear my glasses because part of what I was dealing with over December was pink eye. And so, yeah, here I am in my Coke bottles. But yeah, so end of 2022 wrap up WIP Parade. I'm going to combine this with my update from like, what, 2 months ago? So I'll just kind of mention, you know, here's where it was last update. Here's where it is now. Or something. We're winging it, guys. We always wing it here. I don't even know where to start. Good grief. I have 2 full bins of just the WIPs that I worked on in 2022 and all my stuff for that. I was debating on whether or not to just leave it at anything that I worked on in 2022, but I think I kind of want to pull everything WIP wise because I don't know what I'm going to work on in 2023 yet. I had mentioned starting all the things for 2023, but that's been modified slightly, and I'll go into that. I've got plans too for not everything. There's no way I'm going to work on every single WIP I have in 2023 because I have some solid goals, which I'll talk about later. And I will put life update at the end. I am going to try and do, I haven't played with the chapters feature of videos, but I'll do timestamps if I can't figure that out, because I would like to kind of break it up a little bit, because I'm not doing parts. This is just going to be one long video. It might be 5 hours. I don't know. So you'll be able to have chapters to, if you need to stop and break it up, please do. Don't try to sit in this whole thing, because I'm going to have to take a break. You might as well too. So yeah, chapters if I can. I will not break it down by project. This is going to take me forever to edit anyway. So I'm going to try and make it as simple as on myself as possible. So I kind of always wondered why people did a WIP Parade in chronological order, and that's just the easiest way to do notes on them, from what I found, because, you know, I went through my notebook, my planner, to see what all I'd worked on this year, and I'm like, oh, that's why, because chronologically through your calendar is the easiest way to write everything down. So I have like solid plans, and then we'll do fake plans with the solid plans, because I don't know if, like I said, I'm not going to be able to touch everything, and I don't know what I'm actually going to touch beyond my solid goals. So, that being said, I will go through chronologically what I worked on and started in 2022, which is 71 projects in total. 56 of those are new starts. So I kind of already did a start all the things, but you should see like I have fabric assigned for a ton of new WIPs. Did I lose my mind in 2022? I'm pretty sure I lost my mind in 2022. We'll talk about that as well. So, okay, enough blabber. Let's get started. Okay. Forewarning, I did not unzip anything. I know me, I will lose anything and everything out of bags, carrying them around the house, trying to get them organized and set up. Most of the bags are sideways, and I didn't want stuff to fall out. So, hopefully that's not too bothersome for you. There are a few crinkly, like the loud plastic bags. So yeah, forewarning on that. Okay, first up is Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart. The chart is by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the supersized max color version of this chart. This was a new year, new start. January 1st last year. And hopefully some of these are huge and I have to unfold and show you all of it. So hopefully we'll be able to see stuff. I didn't get a lot of before pictures simply because in my mid-year WIP Parade I didn't have from the beginning of the year. I basically just showed you like anything that I had started working on when I started filming. And that was in October of 2021. So I didn't do it quite right. But I'll insert pictures of the ones that I have, of which I've forgotten most of them. So if I'd be like, here's a before picture and nothing shows up, that's why. Because I tried to prepare and I didn't make the best. I'm not a good note taker. All right. So anyways, this was a new start. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh, there's a cabinet behind me. Hang on, I'm gonna push you back. I do have some room to push. So here we go. We're gonna travel. Hopefully that's not too shaky. It's vibrating on the floor. Oh no, I'm really far away. And because there it is. I did a bottom right corner start, decided I did not like it. Also started this in tent stitch and did not like it. This is a 28 count Aida fabric from China. And so I moved up here because I don't like that bottom right start. Moved up here and started this 1/1 full cross. So I had to grid out the whole thing so I could move. Hopefully I didn't. So that's the bottom right corner. And that'll actually be the last thing that gets filled in. And I gridded the whole thing by hand with my friction pens. And that is where I am at so far. I did not work on this much this year, to be honest, obviously. I got 7,695 stitches for 1.08%. So for the most part, if it's a project in Pattern Keeper and not a solid goal project, if I touch it during this year, my goal is to put 1,000 stitches in, which is basically 1 day's worth of stitching for me on an average good day. Everything is just going to get tossed on the floor for now. So if it's on Pattern Keeper, 1,000 stitches. If it's a paper pattern, again, not a solid goal project, it's just going to be a day's worth of stitching. So if I touch something, a day is my goal, which isn't really a goal because that's what I would do anyway if I were to stitch on something. Okay, buddy, watch your movie. Oh, hold on, I have to open cookies for a little guy. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, this is it's like noon, maybe 1 o'clock by now, on Wednesday, January the 11th, maybe 10th, 11th. I don't know what day it is. Day, yes, Wednesday. Date, no clue. Yeah, I had a 32-hour no sleep marathon and slept last night, so I'm actually up during normal people hours today. Okay. Next is Nomis. This was not a new start this year, but I did not get a proper beginning of the year photo because the first photo I have was mid-year. So you're just gonna get, here's everything I've worked on. He's so far, and I don't have stats for how many stitches I got this year. That was going to take me hours and hours and hours to do, because I don't have anything in a spreadsheet, which would be smart. It's all handwritten down in the days, and I wasn't going to go through every single day and try to add everything up. So you're just going to get total of what I have put in these projects. Obviously, new starts are going to be a little easier because everything I've done so far is actually what I've done this year, which is actually only 15 of them. So you'll have the right statistics for the most part. Also, let me open my tablet. I'm really trying to do minimal editing on a video like this. Okay. Nope. Okay. So this is Nomis. This was designed by Kayli from thesewingshop.ca. She also has a Flosstube for Kayli Tent Stitch. And this was a chart that she gifted me. I actually requested the pink nose instead of, I think she had like a tan color before. And I just wanted them to look a little colder. So she very kindly gifted this to me. And I got... So far, he's got, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. I know I have to kind of turn away for, here, let me set this here. And then I'll have to not face the camera when I talk. 4,147 stitches in it, and he is at 37.97%. If I touch him this year, which is, I do plan on it. I have a lot of extra fabric on this too. My goal is actually to finish him. So I did quite a bit this year as far as, well, not really quite a bit, but yeah, that's where he is. I did have to do a little bit of a color conversion here because the color just kind of blended in with this linen color. So that is Nomis. Right. Twisted Rainbow Sampler. I am not sure. This is on a paper pattern. This is before I realized if I bought from Northern Expressions Etsy shop that I could get a PDF pattern. I bought this off of Mislaid Pages. Do I have a color picture of this? Yes, I do. So this is just the cross stitch version. I do have the twisted band sampler that'll do the specialty stitches for. I haven't started that one yet. So Northern Expressions needlework. This one I do have a before picture of where I was when I first started working on it this year. And I apologize if that is a little bit blurry, but I grabbed the photo off of my mid-year WIP Parade. Let's see. This one I have not worked on this year at... No, that's not right. I have not worked on it since my mid-year WIP Parade. So this is going to look exactly the same as what you saw in my mid-year, if you watched it. But it does look really good. I told my little guy, I was like, all right, Mama's going to record. You can't bother me. Don't come knocking on the door. He's watching a movie and... Shoot, sorry. My husband got home just a minute ago and I could hear him. I don't know if you could hear him, but don't bother her. She's busy. All right. Okay, next is Malagonose. I have worked on him since the mid-year WIP Parade. color photo for him. So let me show you the mock-up. So this is a Heaven and Earth Designs chart, limited edition. Chart is by Pia Wanachiowong. I love this picture. I started, Twisted Band Sampler, or Twisted Rainbow Sampler, excuse me. Nomis is on a 28 count linen. And working him 1/1. Yeah, 1/1, 2, no, 2/1. Come on, I am terrible at this stuff, you guys, I swear. Better just running my mouth than I am telling you real statistics. This is a 2/1 on 28 count linen. We'll say 28 count linen. That's another thing. I don't have great statistics on like specific fabrics. I don't have project cards for each project. That is a goal of mine this year, is to actually get a little better organized. Get all of my projects in their own project bags, even if they're Ziploc bags, and actually have a project card with them. Twisted Rainbow Sampler is on 28 count Jobelin, and that one is 1/2. Okay, Malagonose. This is a 25 count Ada, and I don't like 25 count because to me it is it's too close to it. Using 2 strands full cross is too bulky. Using 1 strand is not enough coverage, in my opinion, for me. So I started out full cross. What do we want first? There are 16,557, and I have worked on him since the mid-year WIP Parade. He's at 6.58%. I started in this corner, 2/1 full cross. It very quickly, once I started getting down here, it's very, very bulky, and I was not enjoying it. So I thought, let's try 10 stitch. So I moved to 3/1 10 stitch, which is still very bulky. And I don't know. So here's here's where it is now. You guys, I might UFO this and restart it. Like, pitch this, save the bottom for if I ever decide I do want to try 25 count again, or have a picture that I don't really care if it's completely covered. Man, 16,000, almost 17,000 stitches is a lot. And there's like 2 projects that are like that I'm thinking about restarting. I've thought about frogging this, because when I were to come over to this way, if you can see the 10 stitch, you can definitely tell it's just like a little line for these stitches here. For the full cross, it's a dot. It is definitely not that. Yeah, I'm just not happy with this, and I think rather than struggle through and force myself to work on it, or not work on it at all because I'm not happy with it, I think I'm just going to have to restart it. Now, I don't have fabric anymore that will accommodate it, because I've cut up and assigned all of my other fabric. But I think that's going to happen. I think I'm just going to restart it on a count of fabric that I know I will be happy with. Now, I do have 25 count other fabric with other projects going on them that I do enjoy. So I think it's just that fabric, that Ada fabric, that's just not, it's just not doing it for me. Gypsy Firefly is next. This is also a Heaven and Earth design piece. Now, that is definitely a theme of mine. Lots of Heaven and Earth design chart. This is artwork by Amy Stewart. This is the regular size max color version. I have worked on this since the mid-year WIP Parade. I do have 11,870 stitches, and it's at 4.19%. This is on an 18 count Aida, 2/1 full cross. I don't know why I'm unfolding completely stuff that I don't need to unfold. Okay. I am slowly working in all the parked threads. Oh, that's where it was. I think I have a before picture for this one. And so yeah, I finally got an actual page finish for this. And I think I have been kind of slowly converting all of my projects into page by page, where I'm going like full cost, like cross country over the whole page until that color's done. So yeah. Okay. Next is Bright and Starlight. Again, another Heaven and Earth Designs. Oh, nope, that is the wrong bag. Hang on. Pause. I was having trouble finding it. I stuck it in the wrong spot. Okay. This is just a regular color, regular size chart as a circle piece. And this one has 8,408 stitches for 3.10%. This is also a 28 count fabric. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink. I'm not coughing nearly as much as I was, but talking makes it definitely irritated a little bit. This is 2/1 tent stitch. I definitely have found that 1/1 full cross is my favorite, my jam. But I'm not minding working on tent stitch for this project, so I'm just going to keep it tent stitch. I had started in the middle. I can't remember if there's a before picture that I will have inserted or not, but that was the middle start. I was working in the park threads. And then I decided I don't really care for anything other than an edge. But because it was a circle, I was like, I don't know where to go. So I worked my way up and found the edge of the circle. And then I'm just going to start working my way down. I don't know if I'm really going to go by page technically, but we'll see how that one goes. I don't have any specific plans for this one either, but okay. Oh, this is a chart by Sherry Gerhardt. I forgot to say that. Or the chart by Heaven and Earth Designs artist is Sherry Gerhardt. Okay, the next one is the one that I had already grabbed. This was a Christmas gift from my husband year before last. It is called Castle Fest Wendelin Aotenshi. Yes. Artwork is by Babette Vandenberg. Heaven and Earth Designs, regular size, regular color. I only have 5,855 stitches for 1.59%. This is a bottom right hand corner start, 2/1 tent stitch on 28 count Aida. Once I work in the last of these park threads, I'll probably finish gridding out the fabric and then move up to the top left hand corner. I'll probably keep this one tent stitch as well. I'm learning not really to love it, but to work with it a little more. So It looks a little weird with the way the shadows go and the edges of the blocks. It kind of makes it look checkerboard, but it's just the way the chart is. Okay. All right, next is Beloved. This is also Heaven Earth design piece. This is actually the flip. Excuse me. The flipped version. This is artwork by Adele Sessler. I was actually really sad to see how little I have worked on this, just in general. I have not worked on it since the mid-year WIP Parade. There's only 5,953 stitches. I'm at 2.1%. I do want to get more done on it, but I don't know. It'll just depend on if I get the urge to pull him out this year. There's not a solid plan. I did hit his hair, but that's it. That's all I got. A bunch of background. Not a whole lot. Most of my new pieces from this year don't have, well, yeah, don't have a lot of work on them. So you'll see there's a theme. All of my pieces have like that little blob of corner done. Guys, I have, I don't know if I've really said in my videos before, but I have said something, you know, in conversation. I actually really hate filming these WIP parades, but I love watching them. But I get really bored doing this because I'm like, same thing over and over. So I hope you enjoy it at least for my sake. All right, next is Lightweaver. This is a supersized max color chart from Heaven and Earth Designs. I have worked on him since last update and obviously since the mid-year WIP Parade. So this is where I don't know if I'm going to just do for my last update. Yeah, last update. Here. This is what he's going to look like. Just kidding. This is artwork by Raven Phelan. I think Michelle Lee Phelan is what she goes by on Heaven and Earth Designs. Love this piece. But it is not a focus for next year. This year. Alright, so now here's where he was. I decided to, oh my gosh, there are threads everywhere, you guys. I decided to, again, start working page by page. Alright, I'm not really going to get all of the threads out of the way because I don't want to confuse myself where I'm at. I did get my first full page finish on him. I have not, okay, let me just show you where I'm at. Here's where I'm at. His wing, well, this is technically his wing as well. This is the crest of his face, head, neck, back. These are parked threads that are going to be for this page. And then these are, again, parked down for where they're going to be on this page when I get to it. So, and then these are parked threads that I am working in. So it's a little chaotic. Sorry if this gives you some anxiety, but yeah, threads everywhere. The confetti in this is unreal. It took me a very, very long time to get this this area finished. You would not, I mean, there's a ton of blues and yellows in the DMC color range. I'm pretty sure they used all of them. So, which I'm not complaining. The detail is going to be amazing. But it's definitely a little bit slow going when I pull him out to work. He is now at, oh, this is on 28 count Ada, 1/1 full cross. He has 10,752 stitches in for a total of 1.52%. Next is one that's not that bin. Next is Next is Pegasus. This is a ripped off Dimensions kit. Thank you. I cannot remember who pointed me in the right direction for this chart. I believe it is out of print, but it's a Dimensions kit. I won't go into that whole rigmarole on this video, but if you've seen my previous videos, you know what's up. This is a stamped cross-stitch kit. So I don't have any kind of percentages or anything for you. Again, my park threads are a little chaotic on this, so I apologize if that gives you any kind of anxiety. Let's see if I can tame them down a little bit. Okay. Okay. So when I first started this chart, I started up here. And I filled in all the sky, and then I came down and worked in his wing, filled all this in, and then I came down and worked over here and filled all the water in. At one point, I started filling the mountains in. I started picking, I started at number 1 and did all of number 1, and then number 2, and then when I got to number 3, I started getting bored with that. And then I came back over here to start working on the horse. Now, I actually started parking a little bit because I was trying to track and keep track of the number of stitches I had done in a stitching session because of my cross-stitch games that I am on on Facebook. So that's why they're starting to get parked and just kind of 10 by 10 squares. And then there's a little bit of back stitching that I have actually gotten done. Here in the wing. Once I get this wing complete, I'll go ahead and come back in and, like, I don't know, the rest of the back stitching may end up getting left until the very end, simply because of it's really just the horse. And just the way that I'm stitching it, I don't know if it'll be a comfortable stitch to do that. So, all right. Next is a Gecko Rouge kit. This is Pegasus by Charlie. No, I'm sorry. This is Purple Unicorn by Charlie Darling. I am doing this 1/1 on 28 count, easy guide, easy grid, whatever. It's the gray thing that they do for you, the gray lines. And I have worked on this since the last parade. I have 5,843 stitches, which is not as much as I had thought I had gotten done in general on him, but he is at 8.56%. I am parking on this because the confetti is very, very, very real on this piece. And it just works. So I don't know if I have a before that I'm doing on this, but there you go if there is. I do kind of want to have more done on this, but I don't know. Again, he's not a focus piece, so if I touch him, I touch him. If I don't, I don't. I have to take another drink. My son keeps sliding me pictures that he's drawing under the door. Okay, next is, oh, I forgot to grab my finishes. Hold on. Okay. All right, so I did not finish this in this particular order, but this is the first time, like when I was writing it down, was the first time I had worked on it last year. This is the finish that I had last year. This is Summer Stroll by Dimensions. I believe it is a Gold Collections kit. And she has been through a lot. If you're new to my channel, this is one that I had actually left in the hoop for like 15 or more years, almost 20. It might have even been 20 years. And so I had to wash her and get the hoop marks off. And then it was just backstitching that was left. That's all that was left. Backstitching and couching, which I hate couching. I I hate backstitching too, but really I've been finding that the backstitching is really only terrible when I can't see. Number one, I can't really see the different, there's multiple colors of backstitch and it's hard to read it. Obviously that's hard, but if I can't see where on the actual stitch piece my back stitches are, like if it just blends in with all the rest of the color, it's very annoying to me. All right, next is my second new start of last year. I started this on February the 10th. This was a gifted chart to me, Veil Nebula. This is from Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the supersized max color version. You know. And I have 15,782 stitches in for 2.37%. I can get out of the bag. I think I have 2 full pages done on this. Mostly black with a little bit of stars. You can see I do have some dye-lot issues. I did switch from my stash to the Cone of Doom. So hopefully it's not super noticeable once it's done. It's really, yeah, it's about the same in person, but it is what it is. I'm not going to let it ruin my enjoyment of stitching this piece. So, next is also another finish. This is one of the first kits that I purchased when I first started getting back into cross stitching. This is from Dimensions, called Be a Light. It took me a ridiculously long time to actually stitch this. So yeah, ta-da. Then the next is a start and a finish for last year. Also a very tiny kit. This was just a China kit. It was a stamped cross stitch. I have washed it. So just a sweet little, I think I did this while I was camping. Yeah, I know I did that while I was camping last year. All right, February 28th is another start. This is a kit that my stepson got me because I did like the Care Bears when I was little. It's cool to care. Oh, I don't know if anybody really cares, but you know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. Veil Nebula's 28 count, 1 over 1 full cross. Yeah. This is on, I think it's on 14 count. Yep, 14 count Ada. That I started again while we were camping. It's small and easy to read while I'm out and about camping. So, if I do touch this one, yeah, that's going to be a finished school. Oh, the Pegasus, that was another one that if I actually start, if I touch that one, I do want to try and get that finished this year. I don't know if that'll happen because there is quite a bit left. And like I said, it's not actually one of my focus pieces for this year. But we'll see. We'll see. That might be a stretch goal for that one. Okay, next is a new start on March the 7th. Oop, I forgot to put that back. Okay. This is a memorial piece for a friend of ours called Boudreaux, and this was his puppers that passed last year. I cannot show you the mock-up because it's not compatible with Pattern Keeper fully, but that's the mock-up of pixelstitch.net is what I used. And I don't know if I'm going to keep continuing with this one or not. The mock-up, I don't know. This is, okay, so here's a zoomed in spot of his ear. And it looks pretty blue. Same with the table. It looks pretty blue. But when you zoom out, it just looks like shadow. It looks normal. Well, the same thing goes for the stitched piece. It's very blue. Almost purpley. In person, it's not that purple. I have 30,455 stitches in. He is on 28 count fabric, 2/110 stitch. And is at 9.15%. I'm not restarting him. I can't, there's, if I tell myself I'm restarting him, he'll never actually get restarted. I have worked on him since mid-year WIP Parade, but not much at all. Like, I think I just worked up in the curtain a little bit. He's been languishing for a little while. I had some motivational stress stitching at the beginning of the year with him. And then once that stress factor passed, I kind of put him away. He really ought to be a focus piece, but at the moment he's not. All right, next is Firewalker. This is also a Gecko Rouge kit. Artwork by Jonas Jodecki from JoJo's Art. My cover sheet's a little beat up. This is actually a companion piece to a Diamond Art Club kit that I have for Nightbringer. And I have 13,062 stitches for 8.54% on him. Let me unfold it a little more because I do have... I started in the middle, and then because I didn't know what kind of margins they had, which their margins are huge, huge. I could probably like have scooted him up and done a normal start and had a little square of fabric left. But I started middle, worked my way up to the top and filled in that background, which is 939, and then got a little bit in. I have not worked on him since the mid-year WIP Parade. And it'll be interesting to see if he gets any work done this year or not. All right, next is Dark Queen of the Sea. This is one that I worked on since my last update, so... and I don't really have a cover sheet for her because she is a mystery stitch, like a... mystery stitch with multiple choices of what you could stitch. She is... Firewalker is on 28 count, easy guide, and he has 1/1 full cross as well. This is where I was last time. I don't think I can fit both before and after in here. So I had just started working on the ink last time. If I touch her again this year, I want to get the next part, like whatever part I'm on, which is the what am I on right now? Her first tentacle on the bottom. This is where I've gotten since I saw you guys last. I worked on her a lot. I got all of the ink done for the orb. I got the manta rays done for the corners. And I got the staff done, and then I've started on her tentacles. So let me get you in here. Oh, and her crown. I forgot about her crown. So there's a little bit of back stitching in the orb, but I didn't like how it looked, so I just left it out. I think I had gotten yeah, so all that ink. I did a conversion for the crown. I apologize, I don't remember who did the conversion, but it was in the group. And I did do a little back stitching around it just because of how I used, what did I use? Did I use crayon? No, that's Petite Treasure Braid. I used Petite Treasure Braid for the crown, and it actually just kind of, it was hard to see. But I do had her, I put her antlers in as well because I did like how that looked, but I wanted to give her a better crown. That tiny floating one just didn't do it for me. The manta rays are also a conversion. I actually oopsed on that, and the colors are backwards from what the chart said to do for the corners. There is a conversion for finishing the, what is that called? Trident, not staff. It's a trident. For the trident, that has some of the same markings, like the tattoo markings that the tentacles will have, for the trident that I'm going to do as well. I'll try and stick a photo in here of what I'm talking about. And then that's where I am on the tentacles. So that, if I touch her, that's my goal. I want to get that part of the tentacles done. All right, next is a sampler that I started April 18th. And it's called Spring. It's by Country Spirits Collection, Scenes of Spring. Now those colors, I understand that this is more like, that's a sampler color way, but it doesn't exactly speak spring to me. So I'm doing a color conversion with multiple different flosses. I'm stitching this on 32 count linen Elsa by Valkyrie Stitchworks. And that is where I'm at. I'm not sure how much I've gotten done, but if I touch this one, it's definitely a goal to finish it, because there's really not that. I mean, it's tiny. This is as big as it's going to get. I just have this stuff in the middle to finish. And then I'm using like threads from Live and Die LA, and I think I'm going to throw some BeStitch Me silks in there that were gifted to me. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along as far as the color conversion goes, but I wanted it, you know, nice and bright and springy. I do actually, this is not necessarily like one of my focus pieces, but I do want to get this done. I just don't know when I'm going to pull it out and work on it. I found that I'm not really a seasonal stitcher. I don't really care when I stitch on something, but I do kind of want to finish this in spring. Okay, shh, go on. I love you. Oh, next is, this is actually, I've only shown it, I think. Have I shown you guys this? I have no idea. I don't know if this made it on my WIP Parade or not. This is actually a travel piece. It is dirty, apparently. It is a China kit, so I'm not sure. It's probably ripped off from somewhere, but it's using that satin thread, that rayon floss. It's kind of hard to see. Here, I'll show you the back so you can see where I've stitched so far. And then there's the front again. So I was just using this in the car, and this was, you know, of course, pre-COVID when I actually went places. I don't necessarily have the desire to travel stitch with it anymore, but maybe. We'll see. Not when I'm particularly in a hurry to get done. All right, next is a new start, April 22nd. This is a Long Dog sampler piece, the new normal. with a lot of patterns in here. Where is it? There it is. Nope, that's not it. Just kidding. Where'd it go? Oh, higher up than I thought. Okay. And then, of course, there's less detail in the mock-up because the back stitching does not show up that it is in here. But I don't have a printed version of this. This is stitched on BeStitch Me 36 count linen. I am doing this. Oh, and that other piece is like an 11 count, 3/1. Spring. I'm doing 2/1, I think. This is a 36 count that I'm doing 1/2. And did I write down where I'm at top and bottom wise? Nope. I don't know which way this goes. I'm assuming the border is, I mean, it's just the border. There's not a whole lot going on here. My goal, if I touch this year, is just to finish that border. Yes, it's crooked. It has been addressed and it's fine, and I'm still going to stitch on this. I can always, I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to do this on this piece because I really love the colors. Did I say what color it was? Gaia for this one. Make it work. It'll be fine. I'm not doing this monochromatically. I'm using BeStitch Me Silks, and I believe, and there's going to be some Mo Silk in there. But yeah, hopefully I'll remember what I'm using for what when I actually get to it. Next is alright, so these next starts are pretty much all from Mania last year, so yeah, everything. There are only 2 pieces that are not a new start from here on out. That's crazy. Everything else is a new start. Okay, so I'll just tell you, one will obvious. Which one is not, or which one is a not a new start. My brain's not working, guys. I think, yeah. Okay, next is Leap of Faith. I'll have to insert. Oh, I do have it. This is a Busilicate, I believe. Here we go. Not me. This is mostly backstitch. I don't know why I do this to myself, but and it's using, I don't remember the fabric, but it is it's just an even weave. This is the first even weave really that I had worked on, and it was the first 2/2 that I had done. And I started getting a little lost when I was doing because I got the feather cross stitch done and was going back in and adding the back stitch, and it was really hard to follow with the 2/2. So I took, these are friction pens, and I just drew in design, and I'll just stitch over it and then iron it out. And then we'll see if I still have trouble reading it more when I pick it up. If I do touch this, I want to finish it. It's not big, obviously, at all. I do need to serge the edges, though. They're starting to fray kind of bad. Alright, next is, this is the piece that I use while I'm camping. I worked on this quite a bit last year. Every time we had a get-together on our property for our hammocking business, I would take this up and work on it. This is Carousel Horse. I believe this is also a Dimensions kit that I unfortunately did not get from Dimensions. Southwest Carousel, I believe, is what the name of it is. I'll show you the back first so you can see where I've stitched. And then that's what I've gotten done so far. I just decided to just fill in this black and blue, yellow and blue. I don't know, and I'm just kind of as wherever the wind takes me on this one. So I don't know if I'll fill it in complete, like just color complete this blue on the outside and then go back in and work on the horse. I'm not sure. Whatever I feel like doing is what'll happen on that one. So I'll still probably just work on this while camping things are happening. Okay. And most of these are China kits coming up. Well, not most, but there's quite a few. This is Tiger. Again, I believe this is a Dimensions kit. I don't remember what that one's. This is an 18 count. I think the other one's a 14 count. But this is using that rayon thread. That's fake silk thread. And when I started this kit, I didn't know the trick of using thread wax to help control it. So I was struggling when I was working on this. And then when I pull it out again, it'll probably be a lot easier. This only got the 1 day of work. So not a whole lot happening right there, but it's not a huge piece. But, that was folded weird. Why don't you go back in your home? I have to put that in a different bag. Alright, I did have another start, but that is currently living at Suki the Brown-Eyed Stitcher's house. So Underwater World I started, but she's going to work on it for a bit. She might even finish it. That's okay. I don't mind. Okay, next was Dragonfly Pair. This is a Dimensions kit, I believe. Yeah, this was Dimensions. This is actually a needlepoint kit. And yeah, it's really hard to work on. Okay, so that's the back. That's what I have done. You can barely see the print on this canvas. Like, that's exactly how it looks in actually, it's easier to see on the camera. It is so hard to see where you're stitching. No, that's actually hard to see because you can see through it. But there we go. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm not throwing it away, but I'm also not going to push myself to work on it. If I do pick it up, it'll probably be a finish because I did all of this in 1 day. But that was a struggle for how small of a kit this is to work on. Alright, again, I've seen this, I believe, as a Dimensions kit. If not, I know there is a legitimate company that makes this. White Horse. It's beautiful. I just wish I had known better when I bought these. Well, live and learn. This only got the 1 day of work. It's like 400 and some stitches. It's teeny. I do love the colors. Beautiful, beautiful colors. So... I feel like this is not a very talky WIP Parade. Don't worry, that'll come later. I think part of it too is that I'm still just I get tired still really easily, so. Alright, next is Friends Welcome. This is Dimensions. Friends and family welcome. This is the kit my mom gave me forever and ever ago. It's not very big. Again, I only got the 1 day on it during Mania. I can unfold it. And I just worked on putting the door in. I don't know if you can see those white stitches are, some of them are there. I don't remember if I had said this was a goal to finish if I actually touch it or not, but it's not. It is not. Alright, next is a Dimensions kit. This is one that I had replaced when I realized that it was a Dimensions kit, and I wanted to have as many replaced as I could. And I've started not thinking about saying counts on anything, especially for these kits, because it's not like they're going to change if you get them and decide to stitch them. They're just going to be what they are unless you decide to switch them out. And this only got the 1 day worked on. I think it goes this way. But I just started in the middle. And then I'll go where I go to do this. And I don't know if I'm going to pick this up at all this year. Which, I mean, I don't necessarily know if I'm disappointed by that thought about not working on all of these, but not really at the same time. Like, it doesn't bother me how many I have. I don't feel like I have to have them all done. Because for me, cross-stitching is very much about the in-between starting and finishing points. Next is Girl Picking Stars. I did actually work on this since the parade, or excuse me, since Mania. Here we go. So here's where it was when I first started it. Oh, just kidding. Here's what it's going to look like. Probably a Dimensions kit. I really, really like ripping Dimensions off. I really like it. But anyways, here's where I was last time. And, well, I can probably fit both on. So I actually got... I think I worked on this for a few days. This was kind of like on a rotation piece basis. But it's not a focus piece going into this year. So, but I was pretty happy with how many stitches I got in. See, now if I had gone through and like actually looked for the stitch counts I did on stuff, I would be able to tell you how many stitches that is, but I didn't. Sorry. Not sorry. Alright, next is an embroidery kit that I will probably, to be honest with you, never ever finish. Noisy, because this is one of those super crinkly bags. I just worked on it for the one day, but I am not very thrilled with how it turned out so far. I have had people say that it really doesn't look bad, but we'll see. I'll keep it because you never know when I'll get the urge to do something little and different than cross stitch. And I do have quite a few embroidery kits, but okay. So that does it for that bin. I'm going to pause, clean that part up, and get to the next bin. Okay, so we're still in Mania projects that I started last year. This next one is a Bernat kit. This is Tan Carousel Horse. This was a gift to me. And just had the one day on it. I think almost everything but Girl Picking Stars got one day on it last year. I need to spend a day serging edges so that I can get rid of this stuff. But that's where I just got a little start on the saddle. Next is another embroidery kit. I really don't have any plans, like I said, of doing any of the embroidery kits this year that I have. I did get quite a bit done on this one. All right, not quite a bit, but for one day I felt pretty good with where I got. So embroidery was one of the first needlepoint stuff that I had learned. So doing those for me was kind of fun. Little walk down memory lane. Okay, next one. All right, next one is not named. It was a piece that I got off of eBay like 15 years ago, almost 16 now, that I called Naked Fairy. Because when I bought her, I did not realize she has no clothes on. It's very tastefully not unclothed, but yeah. I was like, oh, look at her being all naked. So she is Naked Fairy. I do not have much on this at all. I only worked on it the one day. I had no sleep, and it's black fabric. So I don't even know. Yes, I made a T with my needles, so I knew which way was up. And that's it. That's all I've got done. Less than 100 stitches. It's ridiculous. I might pull her out just so that I can have a little bit more progress before I not really forget about her, but before she sits and languishes for years with barely a start on her. Now, considering I can get done like 1,000 stitches in a day, that's a really sad testament to that piece. All right, next is another embroidery kit. This is actually using yarn, and is a creative circle piece. Anybody remember that? And this is the Model T from Ford. I'd never done the particular stitch that I was working on before, so it's not a huge start. And it's not all done. Obviously, you can see where a lot of it, the printed stuff, is not worked on, but okay. Again, probably a dimensions kit of some sort. There's a lot of China kit happening for Mania. Celestial Gathering. And this is done with the rayon thread, which on a navy fabric. I don't remember which way it goes. Maybe that way? Got a decent amount of progress, but that's it. That's what I got done. Just one day. Again, I didn't know about the wax thread, or the wax trick for the thread, so I didn't get a lot done on the rayon pieces. This one is, I know that you can get this piece on GeckoRouge.com. This is a piece by Pixie Cole. I believe she's Jonah Stroducky's sister, but I could be wrong. Hold on. Okay. Alright, so just got the one day on this one. And I'm actually, it's kind of hard to see because a lot of these stitches are white, but I did get a decent amount of progress on that. You can see that pretty good on that day. So had I to do it over again, I definitely would have gotten the Gecko Rouge kit. Okay, next is a kit that I got off of the freebie table from, that's a terrible sound, Stitching in the Springs, two years, how do I say that, year and a half ago, no, it's been 2 years now. This is the BB 1699 sampler from the Sampler. One of the few true samplers that I really do like as far as the reproduction goes. 1, 2, 3, 4 different alphabet series, plus the motifs. This is done on 30 count linen. Two over 2, and that's where I got the day that I worked on it. And I actually really enjoyed working on it. So we shall see if it comes out again. I had plans to do like a kits over where I got my kits out and worked on them, but that just didn't happen. I don't remember why, but probably life. Other plans. Next is another kit. I believe this is like a John Enright art piece. I could be wrong on that. That's definitely a guess. But it definitely reminds me of his artwork. But it's a stamped China kit. I did not get a super huge amount done when I worked on it. Let's see if I can find. I had wanted to get this angelfish done, but I did not have enough time to work on it that day at all. So that's all I got. And it's a pretty big piece. I mean, it's still folded. There. Next, oops. See, it was upside down and I lost all my stuff out of it. Okay, next is another Burnett gifted kit. Gray Carousel Horse. I love this series. The chart is a little hard to read because of it was actually a handwritten chart. So it's a little interesting, to say the least. I just got the 1 day on it. Oh my gosh, oh no. And again, this is the center start, so it's just part of the saddle. That's where I got. Okay. Next is was a start and a finish. I started it in May and finished it later in the year, but where did I put it? I grabbed it, but I left it. Hang on. Okay. So this was a kit, also from Creative Circle, called Calla Lilies. It was an embroidery kit. And it's actually a stuffed, like it's, oops, sorry. It's got like a 3D poofy effect. I did the French knots, back stitching, stem stitch, and then these are colonial knots. Don't ask me what the difference is between French knots and colonial knots at the moment, because I cannot remember. A little bit of satin stitching. So that was a fun little kit. I'm glad it was out of the way though. Okay, and that finished out Mania. I actually didn't get all 31 days in with new starts and kits and stuff, but I'd had enough new starts at that point for a little bit. I mean, I still started a bunch of stuff, obviously, but all right. Next one was on the 31st of May, was Canopy Heart, and this was a chart on. Yeah, it was a chart on Heaven and Earth Designs by Dakota Detweiler, but she retired from Heaven and Earth Designs to go over to Charting Creations. I'm not sure if it's available again on Charting Creations or if she has any plans on charting it. But this is the mock-up. Suki and I did an exchange for this one. She got the chart for us and I gave her fabric for it. I have not gotten much in on this. It's only got 1,644 stitches for a total of 0.55%. That's my little start. So it's got a lot of 310 in it, and my year is going to be filled with a lot of 310. So I don't know if any fabrics that are heavy in black stitching I probably will not work on this year. Next is another new start. This was also a gifted chart to me. This is, I started it June 2nd. This is Miss Forever, again, Heaven and Earth Designs. I don't remember. Artwork by Tatiana Willems. This was a limited edition chart. And she reminded me of Fire Opal, which I missed out on, and I like this chart a lot. I have not gotten much done on her, though. I only have 900 stitches in. I think probably on the charts that I really have, if I have under 1,000 stitches, I think I will probably make it a point to go ahead and pull them out and work on them. I'm not going to unfold the whole thing, but that's all I got done. Was kind of experimenting on how I wanted to go about stitching, so now that I'm more comfortable with doing a page by page, I would opt to fill in a little bit more here, page wise. So bags won't stay up. Okay. All right, another new start, June 5th. This is Crystal Garden. Again, Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork by Rose Kahn. Nope. There we go. Beautiful colors. I don't have that much done in this one either. This one only has 3,003 stitches for 0.95%. And that's where I'm at. Maybe 2024 I will actually have some more. I'll have other higher goals than just a day of stitching on something that I'm working on. All right, next is another new start. This was a kit by Gecko Rouge. This is just called Dragon. This is by Lorna Lane. Oh, and I've been forgetting again to tell you the stitch counts on, or the Canopy Heart, Miss Forever, Crystal Garden. Those are all 28 count Ada fabric, all done full cross one. Excuse me, 1/1. Again, this is going to be a 28 count. This is just on Easy Guide. 1/1 full cross. And I have worked on him. I was going to say a decent amount, but not really. It's 2,149 stitches. Sorry about the crinkling. Get that out. 2.64% because he is not full coverage. I've worked on the moon. Got the little bubbles there right above the moon done. Okay. Okay, so this next one is a finish. I had actually had him in my WIP Parade. Where did I put him? Oh, you know what? I grabbed finishes and then set that one down. Oh my gosh, I'll be right back. Okay, this was sitting with Calla Lilies, and when I picked it up, I didn't see it. So this was the Mill Hill Seahorse. And it's so hard to get the beading effect picked up, or the beads picked up properly in the pictures. There's a lot of them, but I had a lot of fun with that. I don't mind beading at all. I kind of like it. Not necessarily more than cross stitch, but I enjoy it just as much as cross stitching. Okay, next was a new start on June the 18th, and you actually have not, so everything from here on out was not in my mid-year WIP Parade because it was after the mid-year, obviously. But this is called Beautiful Simplicity. It is the max color version. This is a Stitching Moon Designs by Megan, who is Stitching Moon here on Flosstube. I have not worked on this nearly enough. I feel bad. This was a chart that she actually gifted to me, and started on my anniversary on June 18th. I picked this out because it really, let me get you the mock-up. My dirty tablet. Okay, here we go. So pretty. And I started up in the upper left-hand corner. So these are the trees. And the confetti was pretty crazy. She actually took down the max color version just because of, Etsy being Etsy. But I'm excited with how it's, I was like, oh, look, trees. But this is definitely, at some point needs to be an actual focus piece though, too. All right, next is another new start. Oh, you know what? I said I wasn't going to keep doing that because everything was a new start except for 2. This is called Sunlight. This is from Total Cross Stitch. I have, oh, Beautiful Simplicity is on 28 count. Again, 1/1 full cross. It has 1,555 stitches for 0.69%. Sunlight, let me grab you the mock-up of that one. Is not very big as far as my charts go. Not a ton of colors, but they're beautiful. Look at that. So I have 2,350 stitches and it's 2.69% complete. Again, wasn't really sure how he was working on some stuff there for a minute. I would probably go back and, just do this page by page. Relatively close to that. Instead of whatever I was doing here. Weirdness. Alright. Okay, this is Face of a Mermaid. This is, we are finally to one of my, I'm sorry, I was looking at my notes and like, what did I highlight stuff for? This is a focus piece for 2023. I'm finding that this was part of a sal that was started by me and CraftShieldmaiden. She, I don't know, have you even started that yet, Nana? But I started it and I've been using the hashtag when I actually post on Instagram of Mermaid Monday Sal. I am not necessarily, I'm still going to use the hashtag, but I'm not necessarily going to limit myself to Mondays because of the way my focus pieces are going right now. But I had this, I worked on this since my last update. So here's where I was last update. Oh, just kidding. Why do I keep doing that? Probably because I haven't recorded in almost 2 months. This is also a total cross stitch. Face of a Mermaid. Sorry, all of a sudden the glare is, well, probably because she's so dark. And then here's where I was last time. You saw it for my update. And there are some part threads here still because of the way I'm working on the pages. And she's, again, she's not big at all. And I started working in the 310. And now I'm back up into the page, but I was working on the 310 before I started my 2023 focus piece for this year. Because I know once I'm probably not going to really work on the 310. I could be lying to you. I could have no problem still working on the 310 in her. But just in case I did, I wanted to have some of it done. So, but that, the confetti is so crazy, but it looks so good when it's done. It looks amazing, but man, it's pretty confetti heavy. All right, next is Titania. This is the first fancy lady besides the Dark Queen of the Sea that I had started. That was loud, sorry. This is Titania, Queen of the Fairies. It's Mirabilia. Artwork by Nora Corbett. Now, I had requested that Kayli was so awesome to dye some fabric for me. Because it looks like, and I still feel like this, it looks like she's just floating there. Now, after I started this, someone pointed out to me, she's sitting on a rose. And I was like, well, crap. Because my request to Kayli, and she did such an amazing job with, was to have her sat on a mushroom. If I can have it the right way. Just have her sit on a mushroom. But now I'm like, okay, so she's sitting on a rose that's sitting on a mushroom. But I honestly hadn't worked on it since learning that she was sitting on a rose. But I did get that much done. Now I made a counting mistake, and I am gonna go through and I'm gonna grid all of my hand dyed fabrics that I'm working on currently with Sulky Hollow Shimmer because I can't count. And I had to basically rechart around this middle light part. I had to rechart it so that I could fix my screw up. Which, it's fine. It's going to work. I can fudge it to the point where it's even with the rest of the chart now. But I don't want to have to keep going through that, so I'm going to go through and grid. I don't know when I'm going to work on her next, though, so we'll see when that happens. All right, next is a, this is a piece by Pain Free Crafts, artwork by Stanley Morrison. And this is Sucky Dragon. And I was doing this with the Stanley's Dragon Sow with DizzyStitcher. But I haven't gotten very far. Surprise! I've only gotten 1,600 stitches in. Oh, Face of a Mermaid. I had forgotten to say, Face of a Mermaid has 14,024 stitches. She is 16.3%, 16.03% done. Sucky Dragon, I've only worked on him for a couple of days. He's got 1,600 stitches in for 1.35%. He's also not a very big chart. So I do want to pull him out at some point this year. So I'll get a little bit more progress in on that one. Not much, but some more. This is definitely a goal finish this year. Not really a focus because I don't need to focus on it for that long. Because she's almost done. So this is Dimensions, not a kit. It was one of their Charts and Charms packs. Where is that one? Okay. Why did I just end it there? That was dumb. I guess I just got done working on it. I was done. So she was part of my mid-year WIP Parade. I'm not gonna insert a photo because it's hard to tell, because it's just backstitching that needs to be done. And couching. So I had already had the crystals done. And I've worked on her dress more. I'm not sure why this thread's here. There's got to be some sort of design. Oh, yeah, there's backstitching happening. Coming back down her dress. You can see a little bit. I really need to watch Suki's backstitching video. I've put it off because I want to have it fresh in my mind when I go back to this. But I've put the designs into her sleeve. And then there's cording that has to be couched on, which actually I'm pretty happy with how that couching went with that. It was not that hard. I've got the circles going on. I got her face back stitched. If I had this to do over again, I would definitely go back and do her skin 1/1. Well, it is 1/1, but I would do this on a 32 count fabric and do her face 1/1, but I would do fractionals instead, because you can see where her face like is beyond here, and then yeah, I would do fractionals for this one for sure. I have the Wizard Companion piece, and I'm not sure if I want to like have them match, so not do fractionals, or if I just want to be like, okay, look, we're going to modernize him a little bit and get some smoothness going on to his features. So, but I do, like I said, she's a goal to be done this year. There's no sense in having her around any longer as far as that goes. Okay, next is was a new start and is a focus piece, major focus piece for this coming year. I'm sure some of you have already seen our DizzyStitcher Darren and I's bet for this year. I challenged him to, the piece that I'm talking about is Dragons the Sabbat by Ann Stokes, charted by Pain Free Crafts. This is actually a gift from Darren to me for my birthday, I think. Which I feel bad because his birthday is the same day as mine, and I don't remember if I don't think yeah, I sent him that. No, it wasn't for my birthday. It was because I sent him the bag that I sent him. He didn't have to do that, but so I challenged him to I would do all of the outside black of that chart, and he'll finish Mini Top Frog max color. They are about the same amount. I think I'm going to make my goal 100,000 stitches of 310 to his finish on Top Frog, simply because his is max color. I don't feel like it's fair if I make it an even stitch count, because I can just bulk. I can just go. Like, because, let me show you what I'm talking about. So I had already had quite a bit of the corner black done. And this is actually, did I work on this since last update? Yes, I worked on this since last update, so that's all the black that I had done last time. Now I realized, sorry, let me take a drink. I realized that the black is a solid outline of black all the way around the chart. I was like, I don't want to keep counting. I mean, I'll still have to count because of my challenge groups that I'm in, but it's a different kind of counting, because I can just mark on the fabric where I need to go for my next 100 stitches or whatever. So I decided, to outline it. And this is pretty much a supersized max color, or supersized piece, not necessarily max color. Oh my god, I can't even get it in there. But I did, I outlined the whole thing. So all I have to do, and I say this lightly, all I have to do is fill it in. So I have started that. And man, that black line gets thicker so slowly. I mean, because we're looking at, that's over 1,000 stitches just in one line, right? No, it's not. Just kidding. Hang on, let me count. It's like 2,100 stitches wide. No, 200. Just kidding. 200. 200 stitches wide. I can't math. Math is hard. 210 stitches wide. So to do a box of 10, that's where I was going with that. To do a box of 10 down is 2,000 stitches. Hush. My puppy's whining. I don't know why he's whining, but he's whining. So, stay tuned for how that's going to go. I did set up a post, an album in DizzyStitchers on Facebook. That's Darren's group, to kind of document progress there for where each of us I've got. And I'm just commenting pictures under the mock-up picture, basically. So if you're interested in following us there, I set up a picture for Darren to comment with as well, so that he can put his progress in. And you guys don't have to worry about, you know, Team Darren, Team Ailarra. It's fine. If you want to root for one or the other, I don't care. If you want to root for both of us, that's fine too. This is just a friendly competition between us. Loser buys a chart from Pain Free Crafts. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, nothing's in order now. That's awesome. All right, next is new start on August the 26th. This is Mini Quick Stitch Arctic Dreams by Heaven and Earth Designs. I love the colors in this one. I've not gotten a lot done in it. I have leftover 18 count fabric. This is an 18 count Ada with feathers on it. And I actually started in the middle with this one. I don't remember why I did. Lazy gridding, maybe? I don't know. Why did I start in the middle? I have no idea. Which way's up? This way's up. Alright. That's all I've gotten done so far. Not a lot. And that's okay. This is the edge of the whale coming up out of the water. Again, that's a whole lot of 310. So if I touch this, I'm going to go up into the sky where the pretty colors are. I don't know why I didn't get more done on that one, but it seemed to move slower than... Probably because I'm so used to stitching on 28 count that anything larger size-wise just feels like it's molasses. Alright, Asian Sampler was my next start on September 3rd. This was actually a secret start with James the PH Stitcher. He wanted me to be a mystery buddy of for a segment that he was doing on Instagram. And I think he actually put it up on his YouTube channel too. And this is by Cooler Design Studio. Artwork by Sandy Orton. And I love her pieces. Like, I want to do the season samplers that she's got in my ample spare time with no whips that I have. There's a ton of specialty stitches in this, but I am here for it. So, got a couple of parked threads, but that's where I got on it. And all of the back stitching at the top is done. And I am doing the specialty and, you know, back stitching and stuff as I go. So, and I counted and recounted, so hopefully no gridding is still okay on this. I kind of sort of wanted to make a goal of if I touch this, I finish it, but there's a lot happening in this piece, so I don't think that would be a wise decision on my part to make that kind of a goal. This is on the called for fabric, which is an antique white. Even weave, and most of it is it is over 2 for the cross stitching, but it's mostly using 3 strands for the 14 count size. Basically, is what that is equivalent to. Which I really, oops, forgot to actually put the piece back in. Which I do actually really like the coverage of 3/1 for a 14 count piece or a 28 count over 2 piece. Okay, next is Supersize Max Color Shaman. This is by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is, Mini Quick Stitch Arctic Dreams. The artist on that is... John Enright. Okay, should have known that. Should have known. This is artwork by Lori Prindle. And this is one of the first charts that I bought when I purchased off of Heaven and Earth Designs for the first time. I didn't know any better, and I bought like 10 supersize max color charts. It's kind of ridiculous. But this is Shaman. I love him. He's beautiful. It's gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I have... oh, dragons. Gosh, you guys, I'm forgetting all sorts of stuff. Dragons at the Spot. I have 18,598 stitches in that already. Started on July 29th at 3.08%. My goal is to do... All right, so I have 3 goals for that. The first goal is finish all the black around the outside. That was the original bet, was to do that, for me to do that. My actual, like, call it done, finish goal would be 100,000 stitches of black for this year. And then my stretch goal is to get all the black done. That's probably not going to happen, but that's my stretch goal. I would actually have to do like 3,500 stitches a week in order to get that goal done. It's possible, but I don't know if I want to limit myself to that much black stitching. Okay, so Shannon. I don't want to unfold it all, but I kind of almost have to. Okay, here we go. I don't have quite a page finished, but it's close. Oh, Arctic Dreams has 1,441 stitches for 1.3%. Shaman has 3,830 stitches for 0.58%. I did get some of the stitching. That's kind of hard to see. Okay, I guess I will have to. Let me refold this. Sorry. I folded the stuff for storage with the stitches on the inside. But that means I have to refold everything, and I didn't think of that. Okay. There we go. So you can see the edge of the page. And I will probably start, I'm starting to feather my pieces on Pattern Keeper especially, just to try and prevent some page lines, because I do have kind of tight stitching and that does tend to cause lines. So okay. Oh, last page. Oh, okay. So this next one that I worked on is one of the ones that is not a new start. And this is my stamped one, my biggest stamped cross stitch piece. It is Peacocks. I'm doing this on 11 count. It is big. I mean, it is big. It's 600 by 230. So, I had started working in the bottom right corner. Again, I've discovered that the bottom right corner is not my jam. And since it's a stamped cross stitch kit, I knew I could move to the top with confidence. So hang on. There it is. Okay. So that's what I had already had done. Was this bottom corner. And I moved to the top and started filling in the top. And it's funny, you can actually see I started stitching it in rows and then I switched to this way. And you can actually see where I did that at. I have since discovered that that is actually eliminated by following the warp and weft threads of the piece. At least it minimalizes it on other pieces for me so far. So I don't know if I'm going to care enough to try that on this. I might. I don't know. We'll see. This is also done in that rayon floss. So no particular goal on that one for sure. Okay, next we'll start it on September the 10th, and this is Mini Mermaid at Sunset. This was also a gift from my husband. There's the mock-up. She's so pretty. I don't remember who the artist is. Let me look. Elena Lazareva. I don't know if I'm saying that name right, but that's the name. And no, that's not it. Maybe. Hold on. Told you stuff got out of whack, but I don't think this is it. That is not it. There it is. Okay. And I started this on I think this is a 25 count that I just had in my stash. This is a linen. And I started in the middle. I don't know. Oh, I know why I started doing some starts in the middle is because they were the pieces that I had cut out and put away to start things whenever. I know for sure that not everything was a 3-inch margin, which is my preferred. Some of them was a little bit bigger, some of them were a little bit less, and I didn't mark it. So if I didn't feel like gridding everything out and remeasuring and things, I should have done that. But rather than do that, I was like, I'll just start in the middle. Even though I hate center starts, kind of. There. And I only worked on her, I think, one day. That's what I got done. But she's little. I only got 600 stitches in her. She's at 0.76%, so yeah, not a lot at all. Okay, the next was on October 18th. And this is the Edge of Forever. This is a Tilton Crafts piece. One of the first pieces I put into Pattern Keeper. And I had wanted to start it for such a long time. I love this piece. This is by Christopher Polari. Now once I started stitching it, I did realize that there's not a lot of detail missing, but some of the details didn't translate into the chart very well. Like there's actually a heart, like star constellation in the page that I was stitching, and you can't see it. It's not in the chart at all. So that was a little disappointing, but it's still a beautiful chart. And I'm stitching this on 25 count Dublin linen. And this is when I realized that, and this is 1/1 full cross. Mermaid at Sunset is 1/1 full cross. Shaman's 1/1 full cross. Mini Quick Stitch Arctic Dreams, I don't remember if I said, but that's 2/1 full cross. Okay. So anyways, I have 6,392 stitches for 5.09%. When I first started this, I worked and worked and worked on it. I got the first page finished in like a day. Not a day, a week. And I started on the second page before I decided I was done with that for a little bit. So it is a little bit pixelated, but I think as a whole picture, once it's finished, it'll look great. So there's that. I definitely see this one coming out this year at some point just to work on it. All right, next is a Pain-Free Crafts white. No, I'm sorry. The next one that I started was the Mill Hill beaded kit on perforated paper, just like the Seahorse. Oh, like I said, that was all perforated paper before. This is Ice Castle. This is one of their buttons and beads kit. That's what it's going to look like. If I could hold still. And I think I got like 1,000 stitches in on this when I started it. Let me find a piece of paper to stick behind it. I still have a needle threaded with it. There we go. That's convenient that I left that out. So, and I had a counting mistake on this. So I don't remember if I frogged it and restitched it already or not, but that was frustrating. So I think that's why I set it aside. and made it. I don't know if I made the counting mistake my future me problem or if I just was done with it for a while. I don't know why I do this to myself. I find bags that barely fit a project and then fight with them to get it back in the bag. Okay. Go in your home. All right, next is the Pain-Free Crafts chart White Horse. This was a gift from my birthday. Now this one I am illuminating the background on. If I can find it. There it is. Nope. I am illuminating the white background on this. Because I had a fabric that I thought would look fantastic as a background, kind of a sky background type of thing. So I'm using BeStitch Me's, I can't remember if it's actually 32 count or if it's 28 count and just shrink from the dyeing process. This is Winter Blues. And I think I showed the gridding on this in the last update I did, but I actually had to start at the bottom because of eliminating it and not really wanting to, I had started it before I started gridding. Now that it's gridded, if I wanted to come back up and work on the top, I could. I may. But I have, I forgot to put how much I've got done on it. Hang on, let me look at the pattern keeper. Oh, that's why I didn't, because I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. It says 25,653, but that's not really how much I've done. This is how much I've done. So whatever this is, that's how much I've gotten done. Just a little bit on the bottom. I don't know why I decided to keep needles stuck in the projects like I did, but here we are. You'd think I'd learn my lesson with the rusty needle in Alluring Sorceress, but no. No, I insist on let's leave needles everywhere. Hello. Okay, next start was Deep Blue Sea. This was a November 5th start. This was a freebie off of Ailarra Designs. I can't remember if it's done unright or not. Let me... Yeah, this is a John Unright piece. It's pretty much a supersize piece. It's huge. That's what it's going to look like. Love his artwork. Love it. And I got 1,808 stitches in for a total of 0.29%. And I think one of those dinosaurs, oh my word, where is my brain? I think one of those dolphins is actually showing up here in the bottom corner already, if I remember correctly. So that was a fun one to work on for a little bit. I think I only put a couple of days in, maybe only one day. No, it's got a couple days in there. All right, next was a new start November the 6th. No, that doesn't sound right. Really? No, that's not right. Yes, it is. I'm mistaking my mid-year WIP Parade for my last update, and they're two separate videos. So Spirit of the Phoenix was when I started at the retreat. Why are words so hard today? Oh my gosh. At the retreat with Suki. Started this with her as well. I have hardly anything on this. This is one that I would like to see more for sure put on this year. There's only 280 stitches on this thing for 0.19%. And it's all 310, I believe. Nothing hard. Oh, gosh. Maybe it would help if I showed you what it's going to look like, huh? This is actually this is a Charting Creations piece once Dakota Detweiler moved over to Charting Creations. Here it is. And this is going to be a companion piece to Canopy Heart. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the blues in it. So I may skip the 310 and start working on the blues. And then I'll go back in and fill in the 310 once I'm there. But like I said, with working on 100,000 stitches this year alone, maybe more, maybe a little less, but that's the goal for this year. I don't know if I'm really going to be up to working 310 in any of my other projects for a little while. I mean, if it's a few stitches here and there, sure, but not constantly. Or not as majority. All right, this next piece is a recent gift. Well, it was gifted to me. I think I showed it when I was gifted it. And I have 13,348. This is Dragon Race Into the Night, also by Rose Kahn. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat. She's shut up. Staring at me through the door and just meowing. It's not dinner time yet. My animals are lying. This is the max color version. It's gorgeous. And of course I started in the upper left hand corner. This is 28 count, 1/1 full cross. I love how I say it sometimes and not others. This is the first page. And I think, yeah, see, I'm just feathering in one stitch. I think that's really kind of all it needs. We'll see, hopefully. All right. Okay. The next is I started that one December 17th. Next, I started the 18th. And finished it 5 days later. This was a gift for my husband. And it's also a chart that you have not seen because I haven't been able to give you like a haul update either because I haven't filmed. This is by, I'm actually not even going to say it's on Etsy. This is Boba Fett. Blah, blah, blah. And yeah, 5 days. It was a marathon of nighttime stitching because I didn't want him to see it. So I did. I managed to do this and he didn't even know it. This is on a 46 count linen by Fiber on a Whim. And I cannot remember the colorway now. I keep wanting to say Dirty Piggy, but that's BeStitch Me. It's kind of like a pinkish, greenish color. And this is, I did it 1/2. 46 count. And it's got, how many stitches did it have in it? Shut up. No, not what I wanted. 4,139 stitches in it in 5 days. It was brutal, but it was fun. And I'm happy it's over. Now he's, he's so funny. Okay, so when I gifted it to him, I obviously did not frame it. Wanted to, I didn't have time. I did not have time to do that. It was on a whim start for Christmas for him. But we're going to put it somewhere in here for his Star Wars collection. He was like, is it okay if we, can this be soaked or anything? Because it seems like, did it get stained? I just started laughing. I'm like, no, honey, it's dyed like that. It doesn't need soaked. It's supposed to be modeled like this, but it was so funny. It's kind of hard to see the modeling, but yeah, he thought it was like dirty. Oh, he was like, I didn't know. I'm like, I know. I can still laugh at you though, because it's funny. All right. And then, okay, so next is a gifted chart that I have not been able to, I got it after I filmed last time. So this was a gift from Jenn. You know who you are. Thank you. Which is funny because I actually had, these next two are both gifts and both of them are from a Jenn, but not the same Jenn. Where'd my thing go? Okay. She gifted me the, I'm actually going to insert this picture from TeenyWeenyXStitch, the Magic Potions bottle Sal. Not Sal, the temperature chart. But Jenn, the Caffeinated Crafter, is the one who gifted me this one. And I don't know that we're necessarily stitching along together, but I think we're both doing temperatures from this year for it. And I know she's got her first shelf done. This is on 14 count opalescent Ada that I pilfered from one of the China kits that I replaced. And it was just the perfect size. And I may even have, okay, I'm gonna talk about this one for a while because I'm really excited about this one. So I started in the middle because I wanted to utilize as much of the border as I possibly could, because this is everything that came in that piece. And I have not actually started my bottles yet. I have recorded my temperatures that I need. But I am ready to like put the bottles in on this shelf. There's some extra stitches and stuff that go in. And can you see the sparkle? Not really. A little bit there. Anyway, it's opalescent. You know what opalescent looks like. Hopefully. Most of you. Some of you. But I want to show you a little bit. So in this next picture, it's just the grayscale version before you actually stitch your colors in, right? But if you look, you can see like in the bottles for certain months, and there's like the branchy bits that hopefully you can see in this picture. But the colors for the branches match like the seasonal colors. So you'll have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And then some of the months like February, you can see has some like little heart motifs. And I think, I know October has some skulls, and you can see a pumpkin in there. But I thought that was really cool. And I love how it's a 4-tone colorway. So each temperature range has 4 different colors that it's either 2 to 4 colors are utilized in the bottles, depending on the bottle size and stuff. But I really like how it wasn't just one color. I like the idea of the temperature charts, and I appreciate the design on most of them, but they weren't, the depth of color wasn't there for me. The range of colors was okay, but the depth of colors is just not what I was looking for. But then I saw these bottles and there's 4 colors per range, and I was like, oh, yes, please. Now, the chart, the color range itself had 7 different ranges. Now, I live in an area where we can go from, I think we were at I want to say negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit in December when we had that Arctic blast come through, all the way up to over 100 in the summer. So, I mean, there's greater than 100-degree range that I wanted to be able to stitch for. There were only 7 colorways. I'll see if I can insert a picture here of what those ranges are, which, I mean, it's great. That's however many colors that is. It still wasn't quite enough for me for how often I want to change and represent those colors. So I got my DMC book out. I laid the temperature range that TeenyWeenyXStitch designed out on the table. And then I used my DMC book to do this. And I actually added 1 more set for the sub-zero temperatures in like a grayscale for the lowest temperatures, because I wasn't quite satisfied with the range that I had once I had all that laid out. Excuse me. So I added, no, what did I say that? I haven't looked at the thing. Was it 6 ranges of the colors? And then I added 7. I actually added more colors than what was in the original, the 7 color ranges to the original chart. So I think my my colors will actually change every 6 degrees, 6 or 7 degrees. So hopefully, and we tend to stick at one temperature for several days in a row. So like we've been at 40 for like 3 days now. So, I mean, I'll still have little chunks of color, but hopefully the color range will be nice and rangy words. Oh, and then what I also want to do, this is actually, the model obviously was stitched on black, and I didn't have black, nor did I have the desire to stitch on black. But to me, this looks a little Donkey Kong-ish. Obviously, with the bottles there, it will be much more filled in. But the fact that there's no border was bugging me. So I'm actually going to look and see if I can, or I might even design my own. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to do like a bookshelf kind of finish around it. And then hopefully I have enough room up here. I want to do like a 2023 motif, but have like a bookshelf top basically. And I don't know, hopefully kind of not ornate, but not just a boring solid color either. I don't know. Something about solid colors when it's not really called for bugs me. So there's that. I started that on the 29th of December to try and get a head start on the shelving stitching. And that's actually quite a lot of stitches in just the shelves. I have excuse me, so far I've stitched 2,984 for 10.74% of the pattern. The next day, December 30th, I started my second gift, and this is from another Jen. Thank you, Jen. The same Jen that gifted me Dragon Race into the Night. There's also a little bit more that I'll show you later. And she wanted someone to do the Cross Stitch Studio Mystery 2023 Sal with. And I said, sure. Their theme this year is in the garden. I don't really have many like flowery patterns, but I do love flowers. So I thought, sure, why not? I don't have a cover photo, obviously, because it's a mystery. Nobody knows what it looks like yet. Now, if you're planning on doing this and have not started it and don't want to see it, look away for whatever time you need to while I'm showing this. This is what I have done. Next section releases on the 15th. I only have a couple more days to get this done. I'm working on, this is a 30 count linen 1/1 full cross. So it's little. Their pages are 3,500, I believe, and I appreciate that they are even. Like, their pages end on a 10, and I appreciate companies that do that. Lavender Designs pages are too big, and they're wonky. So the confetti is very real on this chart, but I've seen the page finish, and it looks really good. I'm hoping mine looks as good, because man, those are some tiny stitches that sometimes looks a little weird. I have gotten, I kept forgetting to write down once I got to a certain point. Now I only have the percentage of the page itself. This is not the whole piece stitch count. It's 275 by 275 total. So I have 1,802 stitches out of 3,500 for the page done, which is just over half. Okay, next is my New Year New Start was one of my smaller pieces, smaller full coverage, and it's from 2x2 Stitch Art. It's a little slack in the hoop. But because of my focus pieces this year, I didn't want my New Year New Start to be huge. I don't know that most of my starts this year are going to be very big. I know one for sure is going to be, because it's Ailarra Designs, but let me get the mock-up. I called this, I don't know if this is the same title that they call it. I know I had to rename some of theirs because they just called it like, what, I don't know, Sampler 123 or whatever. But I called it Island Mountain Sunset. And I have 22,000. Haha, just kidding. 2,282 for 17.28% complete. And there's where I'm at on it. I wasn't really thinking about the black in the mountains, or I probably would not have started this one specifically, but that's okay. It's really not that bad. Shut up, cat. Jeez. Sorry, guys, if you can hear her. She's growling away. She's fine. She's just staring at me. She wants to come inside. Now, I'm amused because this piece is going to fit exactly in my hoop. It's very satisfying. So yeah, there's that. I do want to finish this year. This is going to be a finish. All right, last new start and last thing I've worked on is also a finish. This is Mini Boo by Shannon Cristine Designs. I'm not going to show you the mock-up because I'm going to show you the finish in a second. It only had, I forget already. It only had 870 stitches in it. It's tiny, 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 tiny. And then I had 118 back stitching stitches. Ta-da! It's on black. I need to drag out my light pad when I work on black fabric. Let me scoot in real close because it's tiny and it's hard to see with the dog hair. I have some specialty fibers. I did switch out this color here. No, I didn't. Just kidding. It called for Kreinik. I switched out the Kreinik for... Did I use Kreinik? No, I used Treasure Braid for this or something. Not Kreinik. And it was DMC metallic, the gold one, whatever number that was. And I used 3 of the 6 strands, and I think that was too much. It's a little bulky. It's a little wonky. I stitched this really fast. This was like actually a prompt for one of my challenges. And so it's just a freebie. I think I will add a strand of black to the back stitching because you can't like that. That's how it looks in person too. You can't hardly see that boo. So I think I'll add black to it. I actually added a strand of silver Kreinik, trying to shine it up and get it to look even more. And it called for stitching. Sorry, my nose itches. Stitching with the back stitch on 1 strand. This is a 14 count, Ada. Called for 1 strand, and I was like, you really, really can't see that. So I switched it over to 2, and I'm like, you still can't see it. So yeah, we're gonna have to add some black. His little French knot eyes turned out pretty good, I thought. And then same for the vine. You can barely see the vine stitching, so. But it was free. Can't really complain too loud, right? Okay. That was it for 2022 stitching. Now, I debated on ending that here as far as showing you things. However, because I don't know what I'm actually going to pull out and work on for 2023, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the rest of my WIPs that I did not work on in 2022 to show you those. So, obviously it's going to be a split second for you, but I'm going to pause. Actually, I don't know if my camera will let me do that. I'm going to stop the video and then I'll start it back up once I have everything swapped out. I'll see you later. Okay, so I'm ridiculous. I touched every single WIP I have last year, and I didn't realize it because the last 3 that I'm going to show you, or the next 3 that I'm going to show you, actually only got 100 stitches in them. And I was like, do I really want to show 100 stitches? I'll just throw it at the end and say I didn't work on it. I worked on all my WIPs, guys. So this one is one of my oldest WIPs. It's a pattern by Cross My Heart ink, the pack. And I worked on it. I worked on it some after I started filming Flosstube, but mostly in 2021. Actual 2022 stitching was only 100 stitches. If I don't really touch this year, it's going to be a focus for finish next year. Because I got this pattern before I understood what confetti was. When I started it, I was super overwhelmed, didn't really have a good way of going about it. And now that I'm a lot more used to confetti and dealing with it, yeah, that needs to be focused on. This is done on 14 count 2/1. Why are you still sitting there yowling at me? Go away. Okay. Next one, it is actually a used with permission China kit. So I don't think it's actually titled this. The girl sat on the dragon reading a book. I'm still not going to show the company because I don't want to support them because of how much they do rip off. So all of 100 stitches got into her. I do have, oh my gosh, park roads everywhere. Can you tell I use really long lengths of thread? I was working by page on her, so it looks a little weird where she's coming in on this page, and then the book on her knees, and the dragon's tail. Yeah, I went to go look for all my other WIPs, and I was like, I don't have any other WIPs. This one is another China kit that I got off of eBay years ago. Oops. Country Cabin. And I just added 100 stitches in the roof this year. And this is on 14 count Ada 2/1. And these are all, I'm pretty sure all half cross in the roof. There are full cross in this. But for some reason most of the cabin is half stitch. Quite a lot of this design actually is half stitch. I don't know why, but there we are. Yeah, any other projects that I have are not started, so they don't go in a WIP parade. Okay, this last piece is one you've never seen. It's a piece that I adopted, that was gifted to me very generously. And it is the Cross Stitch Studios Mystery Sal from last year. She was not a fan of the finished piece, and once she realized what it was going to look like, she abandoned it. And rather than let it go to waste, she offered it up, and I adopted it. This is by the Cross Stitch Studio, Mechanical Seahorse. And she had gotten, I think, a page done. Before she realized that she was not going to work on it again. Maybe 2 pages. Yeah, 2 pages. And she's doing this, or did it in 2/1 tent stitch. Her leg actually goes the opposite of what I'm used to, so it was pretty slow going when I did work on it, but I did get a little bit into it. I definitely want to work on it more. This is, I haven't said that about many of my pieces, but this is one that, look, another needle. This is one that I do want to put some more stitches in, especially since she so kindly gifted all the materials to me. So, okay. Now we're actually done with the WIP part of the parade. So I do, as I said, if you're only here for the WIP parade, perfectly understandable. Thank you so much for checking the video out and taking a peek, especially if you've never seen my videos before. I do feel like a little bit mechanical when I do a WIP parade, so kind of personality-less. So feel free to check out any of my other videos, and I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. For those of you who want to kind of finish this out as a regular update, here we go. So Black Friday happened during my hiatus. November, most of November. Well, I guess it was the last half of November because I think I recorded. Yeah, the 20th of November was when my video posted. And then the little guy got sick right after Thanksgiving. And then a couple of days later, everybody started getting sick in my household. It was the flu. We all did a round of flu. And then we all did, I'm pretty sure it was RSV. We all run fevers again. There was a really nasty cough. It was much worse than a cold, but it wasn't the flu either. And it wasn't COVID. I did my home tests and everybody came up negative. And then after that, I went from that cough to like a sinus infection. So I'm finally on antibiotics for it. But yeah, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. It was awful. The coughing fits were bad. And I was like, I'm not going to do that to myself. And I looked like crap the whole time. I was like, well, I could record in my PJs. But frankly, I didn't have the energy to even get notes taken to do a WIP. Yeah, it was all a thing. All that to say, Black Friday happened, and I couldn't. I kind of went on a pattern buying spree again, but I don't think I spent over. I don't think I spent over $10 for any one pattern that I got. I mean, a lot of them are freebies that I picked up in between Black Friday and now. So, yeah. Everything pattern-wise that I picked up is digital, so I'll just show you on my tablet. I mentioned the gifts that I got during my WIP parade, of course. And then I got a few tidbits. Jenn sent along with, well, I'll just show you. She sent me a needle threader. Isn't that gorgeous? I've never had this tiny needle threader before, and it's amazing. I'm using it all the time now. Anytime I start fighting with the thread, because I can thread needles faster usually with the pinch and shove method, but if it's more than a couple times and it's fighting me, I pull this thing up and use it all the time. But it's so pretty, and it is magnetized, and then it came with these. You can't see me. Came with 2 other magnets so that you can still leave it on there as a, like, it still sticks to the project as a needle minder. Brilliant. Brilliant. My Stitchy group, the last time I actually got to meet up with them, they've met twice since I recorded last, but I've been sick both times. But my friend Paula gave me these beautiful scissors the last time we got together, as to mark our 1-year friendiversary of us getting together and meeting at Stitch in the Springs. Oh, and with the needle minder, Jenn sent me this marking pen, and this has like a disappearing ink. It says air erasing from Sew Line. Now it disappears pretty quick, so we can't really use it to grid. But what I have been doing is I've been marking. So on Dragons of Sabbat, when I use it for my challenges on Facebook, I actually just, because it's because I've already counted, all I have to do is count my grids now, basically, and I just mark the end of where I need to stop for my challenges. So that's been really handy for that. And I probably use it for some of my bags and stuff too. The hammock community that I'm part of, one of the groups does the Secret Santa, and I was like, the coordinator, I asked the coordinator, I was like, do I have to ask for, like, because they want, you know, wish lists and things that you actually want. I was like, does it have to be hammocking related? Because, well, yes, I make hammocks for a living. I don't really get out and do hammock much, nor do I have a desire to acquire. I let my husband do all the gear acquiring. And she was like, no, absolutely not. It can be wherever. So I made a 1, 2, 3 wish list specifically for the Secret Santa. And I got 5 of the dinky dies that I need for the drawn threads. I'll insert a picture because I don't have it with me. But I got it as part of my haul last year. But the drawn threads trick or treat, which I have wanted to do for forever, ever since I got back into cross stitching and saw Rachel Ray stitching it. I was like, oh my god, I want that. So, but I still have, I think, 1 or 2. I think I have 2 left to get of the colors. So that'll be for the drawn for, and I think they just picked in order, and I don't know why, but this is the needlepoint ink silk. I'll have to go back and look and see what I bought this, what I wanted off my wish list for this, because I can't remember. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that my hammocking peeps I was actually able to get some stuff from my Secret Santa off there. So I would say, I mean, yes, I am thankful, but they don't know I do this. Most of them anyway. So that was pretty cool. I was excited about that. Especially since, you know, they have no idea, I'm sure, what they were getting for me. And then I also received for Judy, an Aussie and a Kiwi world sent me. She was kind of destashing and was asking, you know, is anybody interested in this or this or this? And I saw one. I was like, oh, I really like that one, but are you sure? I mean, you are in New Zealand and I am in the U.S. and shipping is stupid. But she was so kind, and I don't know why I love this chart so much. But this is the hen. Yes, the hen from the chicken coop. And the brand is True Colors Cross Stitch. And it's the hen. And I love it. And I don't know why. I really want the rooster too now. But that's the hen that I got from Judy. And she sent me a couple of she sent me a crochet pamphlet too. She knows I do some dabbling in crochet as well, so that's pretty cool. Like a market bag and the beanie hat, a little shawl. I really like that one. So it's the front of that one. I don't know what I'm going to do crochet at the moment. I have a huge yarn stash, just as bad as my stash for patterns, but all right. So thank you again, Judy, for those. That was very generous of you. I know I'm not the only benefiter from her crafting bee stash. All right, I apologize if it gets a little noisier. My stepkids are home from school. So, all right. My haul. I don't know why I turned my tablet off because I'm not done with it. I need my notes. So most of these did come off of Etsy. Some of the stores I'm not going to name because the licensing is of a questionable nature. But okay, so the first I don't know. I may have already shown you this at one point before, but I'm going to show it again because I can't remember. I dug through only so many videos before I was like, I'm done. So this is from a store called Stars, and I will link the ones below that I'm comfortable with linking down below. So yeah, Counting the Stars. And this is called Mandala Feathers. No, just kidding. I got two of them. Star Mandala. And I just think, look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? The colors are just, oh. I may have to find a darker fabric to do this on because I think I want it to just pop. And I don't think a white background does it justice. And another one is Mandala Feathers. Again, just absolutely gorgeous. I don't think necessarily a dark fabric for this one, but something hand-dyed. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just do it on a off-white. I don't know. I'll take opinions on this one as far as a good fabric color to do this on. I think this one is also there. Yes. This one's called Pastel Rainbow. Again, I think the coloring that they use is just amazing. Then I got some from 2x2. Now, 2x2 Stitch Art on Etsy, they run 50% off sales like all the time. So I was just on a buying spree at this point. But again, I didn't really spend that much money because, yeah, I didn't really spend that much money during Black Friday. This is sampler quilt block sampler from 2x2. And I think I definitely would want to do a bunch of colors on this one. I don't have a huge like specialty floss stash, but I would probably tinker around with some of the variegateds that I have. That I do have as extra. My chair keeps popping. Sorry for the noise. This one is called Two Dragons. Again, maybe not a huge different number of colors, but probably do the borders in a couple of different colors. And then maybe keep the motifs in a darker monochrome. And then sampler 231. I just thought that was interesting. So, all right. And then the next two charts, I put this particular designer on my radar not last year, but the year 2021 during the Black Friday sales, but I didn't pull the trigger at the time. This year, I realized that they only do a sale once a year, and this is for Maxine Gadd Creations. And I picked two charts out. This one is called Sucky. I definitely have like a thing for mermaids and fancy ladies, like fancy lady combinations. So gorgeous. And then the other one that I picked up is Snow, and I've seen a few other people who had picked this one up too. Talk about, I'm going to get used to grays and whites on this one. I would be half tempted to pick a hand-dyed, but I think where those icicles are might actually be kind of hard to pick out and stitch properly. And the snowflakes and stuff. So yeah, it's the whole thing's just going to be stitched. Because I wouldn't want to lose. There's like kind of the frosted look to it. Oh, cool! They kept her signature in the mock-up too. I don't know if you can see that. I like that. I actually really like that they left the artist's signature on there. Okay, next I got a couple from the Cross Stitch Studio. I think think these are both limited editions. I don't think they're... I know the one is not available for sure anymore, and the other one might not be. This is, I got one of the Grinch limited edition ones. Sorry, I'm like, I have not paid attention where I am in my camera for a while. But this is a little bit more. And I have the fabric for this already too. It's like a yellowy fabric. Well, I don't have it. I have it picked out. I'm looking at Beehive from BeStitch Me. I really want to do it on that. But I gotta save my pennies for our Japan trip and my retreats this year. So probably not a whole lot of haul that you're gonna see on this channel for this year. That's okay. Next one is Peaceful Jaguar. I got the crop version. Oh, I don't. Yeah, that's the mock-up. They just have their watermark on it, which is fine. Look at those eyes. So pretty. I can't believe that's the mock-up. Yeah, that's the mock-up. It looks so good. Shut up, cat. Okay, next few are of questionable licensing sources, so sorry, you're just not going to see it. Actually, this one I know is fine. Where did I get this one from? Chill Time Needleworks is the designer. Do I remember where I got it from? I don't remember if I got it off of Etsy. I'll look. I'll link it below because I don't remember 100% sure. But this is called Mermaid Horse, and it is used with permission. And kind of the same sea theme. Shut up! Fanciness going on. I should name my title WIP Parade 2022 wrap up. The one where I yell at my cat. So beautiful. Love it. This one's self-explanatory. Mickey and Friends. I had gotten one of the Disney compilation pieces, and it's one of those pieces that needs to be like twice the size of a supersize max color because of how much detail is in it. I was not happy with the mock-up. I was not happy with how it was stitching up. So I'm I had already UFO'd it long ago, but I think I finally came to the decision that I was not going to stitch it at all. So I wanted a replacement. I wanted to be able to stitch my Disney peeps, and that's the mock-up, and that looks fantastic. Okay, this one is called Face of a Pearl. And again, I don't know why, but fancy ladies and sea themes. I'm loving it. Her eyes. Ugh. And, oops, hold on. This was almost a freebie. It's pretty pixely, but there's Cheshire Cat. I think I might do him like as a teeny cross stitch. I keep saying I'm going to do those, and then I don't ever actually do it. Because, man, I'll tell you what, that 2/246 count was doable, but thinking about doing it as a 1/1, I'm like, holy cow. All right, and then this one is going to be for, he's here, so I gotta, I want to do this one for my husband for Christmas. I'm actually planning ahead, so I'm not, nighttime stitching like a maniac for a week before Christmas. But I want to do this one, Star Wars poster. But I'm gonna have to do, he picked up a kind of a side job because the economy sucks and we needed the extra fundage. He actually, they're kind of shut down for the season because it's a golf club that he was working at, the kitchen there. helping a buddy of his out, and they had to go down to like bare bones staff probably until March. So he's kind of on an on-call basis to work right now, and then he'll be back to work in March. He's just working like super part-time, but I figured I'd work on it while he's doing that. So, and then this will probably be a 2024 piece. This is a lot smaller, but this is another Boba Fett one. So, a lot of block stitching as far as the colors go. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And then these last ones that I have got that I'm going to show you were freebies off of like Facebook, the groups and stuff that I'm in. And this one is a Carolyn Manning. I really like a lot of hers. And when I saw that she was offering this as a freebie, I snatched it up. But this is, I forget what it's called already. Arctic Blast. So there's that. I need to make a note because I'm going to forget to talk about it otherwise. Shut up. Shut up. Go on. It's not that I don't like cats. She's just a really annoying cat. Like bad. Annoying. All right, this next one was a freebie from Heaven and Earth Designs for Christmas. And this is called Santa Reads His Letters. Oops. Here we go. And I don't, this is the only like Christmassy, like super Christmassy piece that I have. And I actually do want to stitch this one. I don't know when, but I want to. This was a freebie from Cross Stitch for Everyone. I have so many Cross Stitch for Everyone's in my wish list on Etsy. It's ridiculous. I love, and I hesitated for a long time because I couldn't find, I couldn't find her as far as like, if she was licensing and stuff. And then I found the Facebook group and confirmed, and, you know, other channels and stuff that confirmed that she uses licensed artwork. So, ta-da! This is Boho Horse, something. I have to look at the title again because I forgot already. But I would do this on a hand-dyed for sure because it's no background. Boho Chestnut something. PDF. Yeah, Boho Chestnut Beauty. Art by Fun Digital. Whoever that is. The next one, let me do this one. This is also Cross Stitch for Everyone. This was a freebie on her Facebook group. I forgot to look at the title already. Or forgot what the title is already. Shine Bright. Okay, the next two, last two are from Shannon Cristine Designs. On her website, she does have some freebies. I will try to link her below. This one was a SAL from 2015. She called it this Fantasy SAL. Let me look at the PDF because it's not 100%. She's got beads and stuff in here, I think, on hers. So I don't know if and when I'll stitch this, but I thought it was cute and figured I'd snatch it while it was up there. And then, oops, this one is Thankful and Blessed as well. I just thought it was cute. I don't know if I'll do this one. I usually am not a big word stitcher. But if I'm looking for something, you know, easy and small, that one's definitely, I mean, it's only a 56 by 52 count piece. So if I want something little, I definitely think about digging that one out. Okay, so that's what I've required. Stash acquisitions since the last time I talked to you. Let's see if I can get uncrooked and not quite in your face. Okay, so if you're, oh no, I'm not, as far as, oh crap, it's on my phone and you're on my phone. Okay, so I'll have to insert. So the Celtic Ladies, if you have been following my channel for quite some time, you know that I have a lot of fancy ladies kitted up and ready to go. My Celtic, I have the 4 seasons of the Celtic women plus Noelle, and I found fabric to match them, or not match them, but you know, fabric to go with those patterns, but something about the way the colors in autumn and winter specific. Winter wasn't bad, but autumn specifically bugged me with the coloring that she did. It just was not, it's kind of flat. Or is that Noelle? Anyway, didn't care for the colors. And I was watching Casey Stitches a few days ago, and she was talking about getting the color conversion. I was like, wait, what? There's color conversions out there for it? So I commented on her video, and she pointed me in the right direction for the Facebook group dedicated specifically for color conversions for them. And in the file section for autumn, I found this one. And oh my gosh, I love this color conversion. I am going to have to find a different piece of fabric to be able to do this one on, because it's so radically different from the original colors. Plus, I'll have to get the beads that are not, because I'm pretty sure the beading is different as well. So that kind of sucks, but now that I've seen it, I'm like, I cannot do the original. So, and then there was also an alteration for winter where she's wearing a cloak, which is this. But I'm also going to do a color conversion with that color cloak for this. So the cloak on this one. And then for the last one, for Noelle, this is the one that I found kind of flat because her dress is just red, which it's okay. I mean, obviously one color dress is fine. We wear them in real life as one color quite often, but it just, I don't know. When you have something cross-stitched, you can just do so much with it. So I was looking at theirs, and here is the conversion that I want to do for Noelle, and holy cow, it's amazing. I think I have to switch the fabric up again, though, because my fabric was very kind of green, and now that there's green in this one, that's not necessarily going to work, plus the beads. C'est la vie. I'm excited about those conversions. Okay. That is actually, I think, my stitchy talk. Plans went into the WIP Parade. So if that is all you're here for... Oh, somebody's going to come through the ceiling. If you're not here for any kind of life update, I know I already talked a little bit about being sick, so sorry you had to deal with that. But thank you so much for watching my ridiculously long WIP Parade and last update. Thank you again so much for stopping by. Appreciate you spending some of your time, especially since there are so many great Flosstubers out there. So, and I will see you in my next regular update. Hopefully it won't be as long, like at all. Cross my fingers, knock on wood. For a life update, I mean, man, it's been almost 2 months since I recorded. A lot happened. It wasn't all sick, thank goodness. Hunting season happened twice now, and we have, my husband's actually butchering at the moment. We have chocked full our freezers. I'm pretty sure I think we did 7 or 8 in total, and our herds are not hurting. So, and as far as that goes, and like I said, my husband butchers himself, so there is minimal waste, as far as if you send it out to be processed, there's a lot of waste. Let's see. Yeah, sick. All of December, I was pretty miserable, pretty just run down. It was very exhausting being ill for that long. Last update, I had talked about some family issues. We had Thanksgiving, and it was great. My brother and his family came over. We cooked. The food was fantastic. Turkey turned out fantastic. And my dad and my stepmom showed up right as we ate, and then they left right as we were done eating. So didn't really hang out a whole lot, but we got through it. It was okay. Christmas, I have not seen any family at all. We were just too sick too. My mom is, I think, coming over in a couple of weekends to get together for us. I haven't really heard from my dad, so I don't know when or if we'll even bother getting together for any kind of post-Christmas celebration. Some years this just doesn't happen. So so December happened. So I am now the proud parent of 3 adult children. That happened all within 1 week because my husband's twins turned 18, obviously, and then 5 days later, my oldest turned 18. So they're not, obviously, all 3 of them are still in school, so obviously we have senior year to get through before anybody really decides to fly the coop. One of my husband's sons had actually moved back in with his mom. He does have quite a bit of behavioral issues and mental health issues that were a little bit too much of a challenge for our family as a whole. So he moved back in with his mom, and was living in alternative, like their garage isn't finished, but it's also not, it was a living space, and converted more so for him to live there. Now, his mother also had his mom's sister and her nephew, so his cousin, living with them as well. The cousin also has some severe issues, behavioral wise, and unfortunately he set fire to to the garage where my stepson's, all of his belongings were at, except for like a basket full of clothes. So everything he had just had gotten for Christmas, everything that he has collected for getting an apartment, toast, completely burned up. Everybody got out just fine. Nobody was harmed. Even like down to the hamster got out. I'm pretty sure the house is a total loss, but really it was the garage where the damage was concentrated. Everything else is like smoke damage and stuff like that. Water damage from them having to get up into the attic to spray that down. But so he's actually moved back in with us, and we got him, some clothes to replace what he really needed anyways. And now he's just working on finishing up high school, getting that done with, and saving up to get his own apartment, because he really, we do okay for a little while, and then there's a breakdown. So we'll leave it at that. I don't want to get too much detail, but it's definitely a challenging situation. And then on top of it, there is definitely that, that really sucks. You just lost everything that you've ever owned. So we're gonna do some replacements, at least for the stuff that we got him for Christmas. And then then it's just a matter of getting him to where he's able to furnish an apartment, kind of thing. Oh, and then I had also talked about, so that's the basic life update, what's been going on. The little guy, he's been just as sick and coughing like crazy, but he's been so, oh, and I want to show you, here's my Christmas tree. It was really pretty this year. I was so excited. It's actually still up. Whenever my husband says he's ready to take it down, I'm like, but you made me put it upstairs, so I'm not done looking at it yet, because I don't see it very often. I'm going to see how long I can get away with that. So those are the basic, like, here's what's happened life updates. Mental health wise for me has not been good. I'll be honest. It's actually been really, really bad. And I've been struggling a lot with getting any kind of adult work done. My hammock business, I've been, obviously with being ill has not helped either. But even before that, it's been a super, super struggle to get anything done that I really should be doing. But I've had people say how much me talking about mental health issues has helped them, and at least recognize and know a little bit more that they're not alone, and I've said, in my videos before. You're not alone, reach out. I didn't realize how much it was going to help me as well, because from me talking about it and being as open as I am about it, I've been able to have people come to me and say, hey, you know, you really remind me a lot of me, and here's some of the issues that I deal with. But I've actually had a diagnosis, not me, but person I'm talking to. And you really, really remind me of me, and this is my diagnosis. And I started reading a little bit more into ADHD in women specifically. My brother I grew up surrounded by it, but it was always like male manifestations. My brother was medicated. My dad's medicated. My uncle, I have a female cousin who actually, her symptoms were very typically male symptoms. The hyperactivity and I mean, it was very like disruptive behavior kind of symptoms. If you're familiar at all with ADHD in women, however, the symptoms are not always as obvious. A lot of girls and women have gone undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, and I think I'm one of those people who got missed. I started doing a little bit more research after having several conversations from you guys over the last few months, and I really started digging into it this last month, and was like, my entire life. This is describing me and my entire life. And it's actually like, it's not exactly comforting, but at the same point in time, it explains so much about my struggles and my personality and what I've dealt with in the last 43 years. And so I actually had an appointment just yesterday with my family physician and said, I think I need to be evaluated. And she was like, well, why do you feel like you need to be evaluated? And I started ticking things off, and she was like, yeah, let me get you to a specialist. So I have my referral for a professional ADHD evaluation at an ADHD specialist. Like, that's all they do. Unfortunately, they're booked out months. So it's still going to be months before I have any kind of definitive answer. I'm okay. I've waited 43 years. I can wait a little longer to get the proper, because I told her, because she was like, I have a couple other places to that I can refer you to, but this is the one I believe is the best. And I was like, I want someone who is going to recognize it, even though I may not be a typical case as far as like the majority of a population kind of thing. Obviously, I may actually be a textbook case, but so I'm relieved, even though I'm not there yet. I feel like I see like a glimmer of light at the end of a very, very long, dark tunnel. And my sleep issues may even be connected to ADHD. And the fact that there is treatment for it is even better. Like, it's not like I got a diagnosis of, well, this is what's wrong with you, and there's absolutely nothing we can do. You know, there may still be steps that I can take to improve it. And I like a life where I'm not struggling. The possibility of it even is so overwhelming. Like, I can't even yet. Like, I can't get my brain to even fathom that far out, because it's a little too hopeful. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I'll keep you posted as far as that goes for anybody interested. And we'll see where it goes from there, because yeah, not being able to concentrate, not being able to sleep, just not being able to function has really been, has added to my actual depression, because yeah, like I said, especially these last couple of months have been very, very challenging. So, all right. I think this video is probably pushing 3 hours since I stopped it. I don't have a counter again. And this one's already 45 minutes long. So I think that is all I had to go into, which is plenty. If you actually made it to the end of this video, kudos. And again, my sincerest thanks, because there, like I said, there are so many other great floss tubers. I hadn't really been keeping up while my husband was still working the extra job, simply because I can't put my earbuds in and concentrate when I'm the sole caregiver of our little guy. I don't like putting the earbuds in, and when I'm sewing, I can't hear if I don't have the earbuds. So, and actually trying to watch Flosstube and stitch at the same time, typically I just don't end up stitching properly. So, Flosstube tends to be my work day kind of watching. But all that to say that for you guys to take this much time out of your day to watch this much of my video when there's so many other talents out there is pretty amazing, and I appreciate you more than words can say. I don't want to drag the ending out too long, so yeah, I really hope to record more often. No promises, because every time I say, hey, this is going to happen then, it doesn't happen. Like my solid goals for 2023 with Dragons of the Sabbat, the Cross Stitch Studio style, my temperature, those are going to be like, those are the projects I'm going to have out surrounding me. So, all right, guys, I will see you in my next video. Hopefully I don't have to have the Coke bottles on because this is driving me crazy. And yeah, take care, happy stitching, and I hope you guys have and had a wonderful new year. Take care. Bye.